So the next Sonic game might already be leaked. Hey, what's up everyone, it's SpeedSuperSonic brings another video. In this video today, we are talking about a brand new Sonic game that has potentially just been leaked. Now, this is actually very significant because this is not coming from any like rumor or quote-unquote leak from Reddit or 4chan, you know, the most reliable places. We're actually talking about something that is coming straight from Sega themselves. Two different things, in fact. One is the biggest news, and that's the fact that Sega has officially trademarked the name Sonic Blitz. You probably saw this in the title and thumbnail of the video, but yes, that is the name of a new Sonic project that is coming up, and I think that we could assume it's going to be a game. This doesn't sound like anything they would name a TV show or some other form of media. This is something I'm almost completely 100% sure is a video game. Now, we will of course speculate on what this game will be, but the second piece we have to get out real quick, and that is the fact that a new job listing has popped up for Sega, stating that they are looking for developers for a new 3D battle action game for their second division, which of course is Sonic Team, if you guys aren't aware. And in the 2000s, yeah, Sonic Team was more than just Sonic. That's not the case anymore. If you're working on a Sonic Team game, you're working on a Sonic game. So we know that there is a new 3D action battle Sonic game of some kind in the works, and the word battle has struck a chord in a lot of people, and connecting that with Sonic Blitz only a few hours or days after this news dropped, everybody has led to assuming that Sonic Blitz is going to be some kind of new fighting game. You know, fighting, battle, makes sense, right? And Sonic Blitz could be, you know, a good name for a fighting game, but if you guys aren't familiar with the word Blitz, I mainly know that personally from football. Now, I don't believe that there is a Sonic football game in the works, like Sonic Madden Edition or something, I don't know. But something we do know has been in the works is a new Sonic sports game for mobile. This, in my opinion, is a possibility. I wouldn't completely rule this out whatsoever. In fact, I think because this game has almost essentially been confirmed at this point via leaks, that we could very well expect this. But by no means rule out the possibility of Sonic Blitz being a fighting game. Don't rule that out. Fighting is a genre that Sonic has tapped into on a few occasions in the past, but it's been so long. It's a market that is very much so not being tapped into, and I think a lot of people would enjoy, especially a 3D fighting game would be very cool. We've been talking about, yeah, how Sonic Fighters is very similar to other fighting games, how Sonic Battle is similar to other fighting games, and in my opinion, if Sonic was going to touch a fighting game, I don't want to see a Smash Brothers clone. I want to see Sonic very much so do his own thing, and I think a 3D fighting game would be a great way of doing that. What do I personally think it's going to be? What do I hope it's going to be? Well, if we're going with think, if I had to put money on this, if we were in Las Vegas, I would put this on being the boring mobile, you know, sports game that I know not too many people are going to be excited for, but I believe that's coming to Apple Arcade. I think it has a lot of potential to be really cool, but I think some Sonic fans are getting kind of fatigued, including myself, honestly, that's why I'm saying this, with all of the new mobile titles. Like, I'm glad, yes, we're getting a new console release every year at this point since 2021. That's been great. Some years multiple, which is awesome. But the mobile content is just, you know, punching us in the face, and honestly, there's not too much fan engagement when it comes to a lot of those. In my opinion, if Sonic were to go into the sports market again, which he hasn't done on console since, what, Superstars Tennis, which is crazy. Like, I don't even think Sonic was in the name. I think Sonic deserves a proper sports game on console. Like, I want to see that. We see all of the Mario sports titles that are coming out and how popular those are. I don't see any reason why Sonic couldn't do the same, and there's so many different ideas and possibilities you can do, especially if you do a sports mix type situation. Now, I'm not saying doing Olympic Games. Like, we have the Mario and Sonic Olympic Games. That series is essentially dead at this point, which is fine. I don't think anybody's mourning the loss of Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, but a solo Sonic sports title that could really set itself outside of the box and do something different, I really, really want to see. I don't want to see it just shoved on an iPhone. I want it to be on a bigger market, but based on what we know about this upcoming Sonic sports game, which could very well be Sonic Blitz, that's not going to happen. It's not going to go on console or anything. It's just going to be on the phone, which is fine. Like, Sonic Rumble being a mobile PC thing is fine. I don't really care. I didn't need that on Xbox and PlayStation. I don't know. I just want to see Sonic tackle sports in the right way. Now, with a fighting game, if this is really what Sonic Blitz is going to be, if Sonic Blitz really, really, truly is a new 3D action fighting game, I think that would be amazing. I think that'd be super sick. I have no idea when we would get that, because of course we know that this year has Sonic Racing Crossroads set to release, which there's a whole discussion with that game and its battle against Mario Kart 9 or whatever they're gonna call the new one. Because with Switch 2 releasing this year and that game releasing, Sonic picks the worst years to release his kart racers. But we're still excited for Racing Crossroads because it sounds really fun based on what we know about it so far. trademark seems pretty ambitious, so I'm excited for that. But regardless, that's what's going to be occupying this year for Sonic the Hedgehog console content. Of course, there's other content and media coming out, but I don't know if another console Sonic game can fit really at this point in the release schedule for this year. So I think if you were to receive a Sonic fighting game, that would come some point next year. I think we're almost at the point now where Sega can kind of start, dipping their toe into the multi-year console release cycle, where we could receive a fighting game next year, and we could also receive the next mainline game, but obviously spacing it out. Dropping the fighting game in like spring of 2026, and then dropping the Sonic big, next maybe Frontier sequel or whatever they plan on doing in, the holiday season. So probably like around like October, November, something like that. There's a lot of possibilities. There's a lot that they could do. If this is indeed the fighting game, I'm really happy that it's 3D. I think that if Sonic is going to tackle that kind of market, it should be in a 3D environment. I think that we have seen the rise of just 3D Sonic over the past few years and how well it's doing. There was that period, of course, where classic Sonic just dominated the entire franchise, and it was just nothing but classic Sonic after classic Sonic game and show or whatever it might be. It was a lot. But it really seems like since the Sonic movie release, there's just been this massive turning point, which I'm really happy about. The franchise is now moving forward, which is great to see. It's not just completely dwelling in nostalgia. It's able to actually like go forward and do new things, and also mainly in a 3D environment, which is awesome. So I think the fighting game tackling that is going to be super cool. I'm really excited to see if this is indeed the case, what the roster is going to look like of characters. I hope it's long. I hope it's extensive. I hope that there's some deep cuts in there, some people you wouldn't expect. Maybe some characters from spin-off titles from the mid-2000s would be super cool. Hey, I am hoping for some IDW characters. That's my biggest hope. I think this would be a great opportunity to introduce them. Heck, I think Racing Crossroads would be a great opportunity to introduce IDW characters into the main video game universe, or honestly barely even the main game universe. It'd be a spin-off fighting title, so I think this would be a great place to shove them in. I'm sure that Sega will find a way to put Zavik in there. There's so many possibilities and so many ideas that you could do with a 3D Sonic fighting game. Using Sonic's various abilities, like his super forms, and Shadow with his Chaos Sphere, and all the different moves and things that you could unlock and achieve. Maybe they'd have a story mode included. That's what I'd really hope for. I think they could do something really fun with that. How would the gameplay work? Would it just be, stage after stage? Would you do maybe kind of an open world-esque thing, as Sega has been kind of like dipping each Sonic project into a little bit, as we saw with Shadow Generations? I think just one of the biggest things that people are going to be excited for is, controlling a character that isn't Sonic again, which I think is really cool. Of course, we just had Shadow, which we're very thankful for, but very similar characters. I think a lot of people just want to play as Tails again in a 3D environment, as Knuckles again in a 3D environment, as Amy, it's been so long since that's happened. There's so many characters that I think people want to see again and play as again, and I think this is a great way of doing so. I don't know why, but like those Aikido, whatever their name of the toy brand is, those figures at Target that you guys might see of Sonic characters, just had me thinking of just like, I want a game of this. Also, I like that art style, but of course with this being like a 3D action battle game, if this is indeed the fighting game, that the game is just going to be traditional, 3D model Sonic characters like we've had for the past million games. But I also want to state this before we kind of wrap up. There is a good chance that Sonic Blitz and the supposed 3D battle action Sonic game are completely different things. There's a chance that Sonic Blitz is a Sonic sports game that's coming to your iPhone, and there's a chance that there is going to be that 3D battle action Sonic game that is the fighting game, but it just might be called something different, like Sonic Battle in the third dimension. I don't know. That's all. Don't ever do that, Sega. Don't call it that. So if Sonic Blitz does get announced as that mobile sports game, don't get discouraged and really disappointed that we're never going to see a Sonic fighting game. I think that that is still very much so in play, but there's of course still the chance that Blitz and this game are connected and that the timelines are just adding up. So we'll see what happens, but regardless, I think that we are going to get a game called Sonic Blitz, and we are getting a new Sonic fighting game. Whether they're the same project, we'll have to wait and see, but regardless, I think you guys should be very excited and to stay tuned to hear more on this. I know I was a few days late to this story. I got a lot going on right now and a lot of content in the works for you guys, but I promise when more news comes out, we're going to be the first to talk about it, because of course there's a lot going on, and with this year still kind of being, mysterious still, I want to make sure that you guys are kept up to date on everything that's going on. But with that being said, this is where I pass off to you and ask what you think. What do you think Sonic Blitz is, and do you want to see a new Sonic fighting second game? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I'd love to know what you guys have to say. Feel free to follow my social media links to my Twitter and Instagram in the description below. You can follow those 1 6 of my life, future content, and all things Sonic the Hedgehog. But most importantly, if you're not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed. This is the #1 station in YouTube for all things Sonic, whether it's video games, TV shows, movies, comics, merchandise, and more. We talk about it all. I have a lot of really crazy stuff in the works. We're kind of going to a new uploading format this year. We're going to be dropping news content throughout the week, and then on Friday, you're either going to be getting a new high quality video essay or merch hunt or whatever large scale video at the end of the week to really quench everybody's thirst. Once again, with Sonic news definitely being slower this year than it was last year, I'm going to be able to produce a lot more original content for you guys, so I want you guys to stay tuned and excited for that. I have something very special coming to you guys on Friday, but expect more content throughout the rest of the week if more news pops up. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.
And be right by the motherfucking seaside, dog. Everything I see, I got a dream. I thought these leaves would go and take me out the dark. I know everything I wanted to far away.